So after Agra, we took a train to Karjuho. The special thing about this city is it has these Karma Sutra temples, i.e. sex temples. From a distance, they look like a very traditional, religious place of worship, but the closer you get, the closer you realize it's not very traditional at all. It's made up of these statues that are going at it. Like, I'm talking serious orgies.
They're carvings of the Karma Sutra. So essentially, very, very sexually charged carvings around all of these temples, pretty much depicting any sexual act that you can imagine. It shows you where they were at 1100 years ago, and they had pretty elaborate imaginations back then as well. I think that people have been having a lot of fun for thousands of years. Our tour guide was one of the best tour guides that we had on the trip. He was giving us all the hard facts and then sliding in these really, really dry jokes.
But see, the lady is very strong because she's standing on her head since 1,000 years, because this temple has 1,000 years. She's a very energetic woman. Look at that one poster of Kama Sutra seems very difficult, very complicated. So that's why the man, he lost his leg. You can see her boobs, her breast, in the form of coconut. Because there are three kinds of breasts. Before marriage, very hard, like a coconut. After marriage, husband, he just starts to become mango, little pulpy. When she gives birth to someone, so become papaya because the baby is too strong.
There's a guy who's going at a horse, there's threesomes, there's a guy with 5 women at once.
I really, really think everybody should go and see Khajuraho, because it's a really interesting twist on what you would take from Indian culture. I mean, obviously people are very sexual around the world, and that's an undeniable part of human society anywhere you go.
And obviously after that we headed to Varanasi. I've heard nothing but epic things about this place. When we showed up, we stayed at HOSTEL. It was the top-rated accommodation on Hostel World. So the thing about Varanasi is people across all of India come to this place to die. The Gandhi River is one of the most holy places, and what they do is they get cremated and then they pour their ashes into the Gandhi.
This is one of the most holy places in India, and this is a direct passageway to heaven, essentially, if you get cremated and then have your ashes scattered into the Gandhi. But this particular town is based right on the side of this river where these cremations are happening. The population uses it for everything. They're bathing in it, they're swimming in it, they're fishing in it, like everything they're doing in this river, which makes this not the cleanest place in the world at all. I guess if you're from a place like this, then your body probably builds up the defense mechanisms to be able to survive that kind of a habitat.
I said I wanted culture shock, and I got my culture shock. First week here, I was like, oh, it's not as crazy as everyone says. And then showed up here, and it's absolutely blown me away. This place is different from anywhere I've ever seen in my life. It's absolutely mind-boggling.
So we're about to head back to the main strip that takes us to our hostel, and the population on these streets is out of control. You gotta check this out.
We went in there with the intention of filming the cremations, but it's a very, very sensitive subject. I don't think anybody would appreciate you having a funeral and then all of a sudden some foreigner coming in with a video camera and filming it. you know, I didn't want to be disrespectful, but I did think that it's something interesting to capture. So what I did is I rented a boat to take me up the river, and from a distance I filmed just, you know, the coastline with these fires burning. You can't really see any bodies burning, but I mean, these are cremations taking place that we filmed on the side of this river.
Obviously, we want to pay respect to the families and not film, you know, a close-up of their relatives being burned. So instead, we just filmed the fires to just show what was going on. And I think the best way to really appreciate this is to just go there and see it yourself. Brady especially was feeling heavy-hearted about seeing all these homeless people. He rallied us all together and bought some food. We bought 100 meals and went and kind of gave them out to some of the kids and some of these homeless people who are on the street.
Everybody that we offered it to seemed to be really appreciative that they were getting a dinner for the evening, and I think each one of the dinners maybe cost $1, but some of these people here don't have that.
Superman.
I'm waiting for curry to explode all over someone's face.
Walking down the most busy street I've ever been on, and we're trying to give away 100 curries to some homeless people to help out. So we're trying to find them in the midst of the madness.
I really think that everybody should go to Varanasi. I loved it. It was really interesting, but I don't know if I could have stayed for longer than a month because it is absolutely insane. It would be too hectic. You need to almost go and find some level of solitude, a little grassy patch in a forest with nobody around you for a week after you do Varanasi.
I highly recommend India. It's cheap, it's friendly. Don't listen to the misconceptions that are out there. Go and see it yourself. And the Indian people are very kind and very respectful, so you have nothing to worry about. So now we're off to Nepal. They just had the earthquake 3 weeks ago, so we're gonna go do some relief there. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much for your time. Let's go.